Gather around, my friends. Let me tell you a tale, not just of a king, but of a warrior, a scholar, and a force of nature who stood tall against an empire that sought to crush him. His name was Sambhaji, and his story will stir the fire in your hearts. A boy who grew up amidst swords and books, who faced betrayal and battles, and who dared to challenge the mightiest powers of his time. But this is not just a tale of war. It's the story of how one man's spirit became a shield for his people. And when the world thought they had broken him, that is when he stood tallest. The story begins on May 14, 1657, in Purandar Fort, when Sambhaji Maharaj was born to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and Saibai. His childhood was anything but ordinary. Growing up amidst the rugged hills of the Sahyadris, he was trained in warfare, governance, and strategy. At 9, he was sent as a political hostage to the Mughal court after the Treaty of Purandar on June 11, 1665, temporarily ending hostilities.
जब दुश्मन को हरा न सके और खुद की हार मंजूर न हो तो एक ही रास्ता बचता है, सुलह।
Sambhaji's presence at the Mughal court exposed him to Mughal politics and governance, which would come into play in upcoming years. In 1681, after the untimely death of Shivaji Maharaj in 1680, Sambhaji ascended the throne. The challenges he faced were monumental. Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperor, had launched a massive southern campaign, deploying over 500,000 soldiers to subjugate the Deccan.
दक्कन में किसकी जोरत कि वो आलमगीर से टकराए?
Imagine the odds. 500,000 Mughal troops against the Marathas, 80,000 fighters. But these were no ordinary soldiers. The Marathas, masters of guerrilla warfare, used their knowledge of the rugged terrain to outmaneuver and strike the mighty Mughal army with precision. Another enemy loomed large along the western coast, the Portuguese. Sambhaji launched a strategic campaign against them in Goa in 1683. The Portuguese, though numbering only about 10,000 troops, relied heavily on their well-fortified cities and naval dominance. Their strongholds, like the imposing fortresses of Goa and Vasai, were designed with European military expertise, making them seemingly impregnable. However, Sambhaji recognized their vulnerability, their dependence on trade routes. Under his command, the Marathas built a formidable navy, crafting ships like the Gurab and Galbat. This fleet disrupted Portuguese supply lines, raided their ports, and created economic havoc. Sambhaji's innovative naval strategy proved that even a smaller force could challenge a mighty colonial power by targeting its weaknesses. Sambhaji Maharaj was not just a warrior, but also a scholar. In 1685, he authored the Sanskrit text Budhbhushanam, a profound treatise on ethics, governance, and statecraft. Fluent in multiple languages, Sanskrit, Persian, Marathi, and Portuguese, he used his linguistic skills to understand and counter the strategies of his adversaries. In his Budhbhushanam, Sambhaji Maharaj wrote,
धर्म और न्याय की रक्षा में यदि मेरा रक्त बहाना पड़े तो यह मेरी विजय होगी, क्योंकि एक राजा केवल प्रजा का स्वामी नहीं, वह उनका रक्षक है.
One of Sambhaji's most daring exploits was his campaign against the Siddhis of Janjira, a naval power allied with the Mughals. Janjira, an island fortress rising out of the Arabian Sea, was surrounded by treacherous waters and bristled with cannons. The Siddhis, with a well-trained garrison of around 5,000 soldiers, dominated the coastal trade and posed a significant threat to Maratha ambitions. Sambhaji's forces launched a series of naval assaults, attempting to breach the fortress. Though the fortress withstood these attacks, Sambhaji's relentless campaign forced the Siddhis to retreat into a defensive stance, significantly diminishing their influence. The skies above the Sahyadri hills roared with thunder. But it was the sound of battle that filled the air. The Marathas, fierce as ever, charged into the storm, led by the indomitable Sambhaji Maharaj. His gaze was unwavering, fixed on a horizon that held the future of an empire. A future worth fighting for, a people worth dying for. But no man, however brave, can escape fate's cruel hand. What lay ahead was a test unlike any he had faced before. In part 2, we delve deep into Sambhaji Maharaj's final stand. A journey through unimaginable torment, the unyielding strength of loyalty, and the sacrifice that would forever alter the course of history. His martyrdom did not end his legacy. It ignited a fire within the heart of the Maratha Empire, an eternal flame that would burn brightly for generations.